Everything is new again, walking with a permagrin, head so high. I'm back with you and all is right. Shaking on the apple tree, ticking off the honeybees, watch them fly. It's just like we never said goodbye.
Hello and welcome back to glorious NeoCraft server. I am NihonTiger. Much has been done lately. Come, I will show you the wonderful things in my land. Actually, no, I'm not gonna go through with that whole thing. But hi, it's I, NihonTiger. How you guys doing? Welcome back to NeoCraft server and progress. Yes, progress is being made. So first and foremost, that's gonna be coming down. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Rukui. I'm gonna keep your snowman in a box somewhere safe so that I can rebuild him next year. But I gotta take him down. It's kind of not becoming winter time, and I'm not feeling like the winter spirit anymore. I'm tired of snow. Stupid snow. Get out of here, snow. And all the snow's melted outside in real life, so I think it's time to say goodbye to winter and say hello to springtime. But first and foremost, we have some new things. Yes, new things to show. So first, I'm going to point out all these pilings over here, which look weird and suspicious. Like they're a plot for something, a plan, and yes, indeed they are. This is the layout of where the pillars are going to be for the town hall, which is something I'm working on designing right now in my build world. And I've got some ideas. I think I might go with the white stained clay. It kind of has that off-white color to it. And the pillars are going to be spruce. So more spruce, all the spruce forever. But the idea is this will be kind of, this will be on the side of the hill here. And I have some boots. I must have killed a zombie and picked those up, because I would never make gold boots myself. But there we go. But yeah, these are just kind of the plans of where the corners of everything will be. So it's not an actual indicative idea of, where where everything is going to be 100%. But it's pretty close, I think, to where I'm thinking about putting everything. So that's a possibility, and it's going to have a acacia roof and an interesting look on the outside. It's going to have a clock tower. And this area right here is going to be what I call the middle plaza, or I think it's Mitteplatz in German, or Mitteplatz. But this will be kind of a middle plaza, and this one down here, this plaza with the fountain, will be the market plaza. So, or Marktplatz, I think is how you say it in German. I'm going with the German theme for everything here. XR is going to get moved. I'm going to be moving, or I'm going to have Minsk come on, or someone come on and help me move him in the next week or two. I don't know specifically when, but I have stuff that's got to go right down there. So he's got to be moved probably just outside of the walls, maybe over here. I don't know. I got to find a good spot for him too. So over here might be the best place for him, because I don't have any plans for anything to be built right there. And I think it might be good just to have him kind of like right out there. I was thinking perhaps. Don't quite know yet. We'll think about it. Get some more thought. Maybe get some input from Minsk himself. See if he's got a good spot to put him. Or we can move him over there temporarily. But then we have to move him again because he's not staying over there. So that's going to be something I'll have to do in the next couple of weeks, because I have stuff to move over here. But most importantly, and kind of to show off what we're going to work a little bit on today, as I talk for a brief moment, right over here, this up here, this is what I'm calling the upper market area. So here's the lower market. This is going to be the market square. And we have our stalls. And Horatio will also be moved at some point, because he's not supposed to be in the market square. He's not for sale. He's my pig. So we have various stalls here. I'm going to be building some more stalls up here. And there'll be more stalls even right here. I might put a building or two, like one or two buildings, like kind of, shaped like that, but right next to each other. So they'll be very small buildings, and they'll be kind of set to have one door here, maybe one door here. I don't know. We'll give some thought to that as well. So there's going to be two more buildings here, and then this will be all marketplace area, or maybe like another stall or two, and I'll have another stall up there. But up here is the upper market area, It's a double layer area for a bunch of stalls, and this is what we're going to be working on today. So I'm very excited about this. It kind of butts up against the dam, and I started working on a pattern for the back of the dam here just to make it look a little less blah and boring. So I obviously still don't have the lamps I want. I'll get those soon. And I guess you can hear the lava inside of that. I love that. I love you, dam. Here's the cathedral, which we're also going to be working on. Perhaps next episode or two we'll also get to work on the cathedral. I don't think this will take very long. So I built this out of cobblestone, and I'm eventually going to change it all over to wood once I figure out what type of wood I want for this. But basically it's going to have a lower section down here. It's kind of suspended over the cliffside, and it's going to have an upper section here that's basically on top of the hill. And it's also about 2 blocks up over where the rest of the stuff is. So I was thinking today maybe we could work a little bit on placing the stalls and getting the designs done. So to do that, I'm going to need some stairs, I'm going to need some stuff, and we're also going to have to find a topic to talk about. So I will be right back with all of the materials we'll need for today. So there'll be a cut here. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. I'm not going anywhere. So be right back. Okie doke, folks. Sorry about the... Well, actually, it wasn't a long wait for you. It was for me. I had to go run all over the place to get a whole bunch of stuff for this. Jeez, it took me forever. And I also realized I made a mistake when I made the shape. I actually made it a little bit oblong on the side, so I had to fix that. And that took me a lot longer than I thought it would, but at least it looks nice now. So I've decided I'm going to go also with a split kind of color pattern on this, where it's going to be spruce on the bottom and a dark oak on the top, mostly because I didn't want this roof to blend in with this too much when you're looking at it from certain angles. But that's really kind of all I was thinking about at the time was, okay, what am I going to do with the wood patterning? How am I going to figure this out? And I probably don't have enough wood actually to do this. We'll do as much as we can today, and I'll finish up the rest off camera. But have something to discuss. Not necessarily like, oh, we have something to discuss. We have to discuss your grades, young man. No, but topic for discussion today, as I was thinking about it, it's actually related to some other things I've talked about before. And I've talked about things like fame and responsibility in the past, and I didn't really talk about this too much during my PAX East videos, because I kind of focused more on PAX East itself during those videos. But I was talking obviously with some of my friends who are much bigger streamers, much bigger YouTubers than I am, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not like saying, oh, well, they're so much bigger and I'm jealous, but no. I am what I am. I am the channel size I am, and that's the way it is right now. I'm not too worried about that. But I was talking with a lot of them, and you kind of see when you get to hang out at these conventions and hang out with some of these bigger name people, you kind of get to see lots of cool stuff, and you get to do some very cool things. I did get to do some excellent things, which I'm not sure if I want to brag too much about them, so I don't know if I'll discuss them this episode or in a future episode. But I did get to do some pretty fun things during Minecon. There, you're doing that thing I do too much. I gotta really. That's my next thing that I have to work on. I got rid of the nail biting thing 2 years ago, and now I have to get rid of that thing when I talk. So I have to keep an eye on that. But you get to hang around with these people, and you get to see all the kind of the cool things they get to do, and it's like, wow, being big is so awesome. And then you're talking with them, and they're like, oh, well, I got to go now because I have to go over to this booth and do a signing session for 2 hours. Or you talk to them, and like they ask you, hey, what games did you get to play? And you're like, oh, I got to play such and such a game. How about you? Well, I haven't really gotten to play any games whatsoever on the floor so far because I've been running around. I've been doing panel stuff. I've been, at signings. I've been mobbed by people everywhere I go. I haven't really had a chance to settle down and do anything. And this was on like Saturday that I was having this discussion. So, my first thought was, when I was talking with some of these people, and I'm not necessarily going to name them, but it was a couple of bigger name people that I'm friends with, and it kind of made me think about being big and being, responsible for all this stuff, and the fact that it's not perhaps something that I'm mentally ready for yet. And that's kind of the thought that I had after PAX East. So I'm getting close to 1,000 subs, and even that's it's something I'm excited about. But if I woke up tomorrow and I had 3,500 subs, I'd be probably kind of really scared almost. And it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, being scared of growing that big. And I'm sure a lot of people say, well, if you don't want to grow that big, I'll gladly take your spot. And it's not that I don't necessarily would ever want that, but I kind of want to, I guess, enjoy what I have right now, the ability to kind of just have my own schedule, not have to worry about, oh, you have to do all of these big things now. Whenever you go to a convention, you have to be at Minecon. You don't have a choice. Well, you actually do have a choice, but you'll let your fans down, and there's people who are going to fly to, for example, like Minecon. People in the UK are going to go to Minecon. They're going to spend $200. They're going to spend thousands of dollars on travel in some cases, and they're going to go there because they're expecting to see you there. Now, you can always tell them, no, you won't be there, and they'll be sad about it. That'll just be the way it is. But me, I always feel obligated to do what I can for my fans, as far as if I'm able to attend a convention, I'm able to hang out with them, and they're going to be there. I'll make an effort to hang out with people if they say, hey, I'm going to be at such and such a place. And I did that during PAX East as well. Everyone who's like, hey, you going to be there? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be there. Cool, I'll be there too. Hopefully I'll see you around. People like Dunk and MK and whatnot. People who I said I would meet up with, like Alan, Mary, and Ovi. Like all those people, I absolutely genuinely will put time on my schedule and say, okay, I will spend such and such time hanging out with you for sure. I'm not gonna, just be like, oh, well, I can't do it now. I've got other things to do. Because that to me is just kind of rude, I know things come up, and I know, you don't have control over everything in life, but I feel like that's one thing that I do kind of have some little bit of control over, that can be able to manage my time in a manner that's good for everybody. But I mean, you see all this stuff, it makes me think back to when I was a blogger, and a lot of times too when I'm a blogger and I have to go to San Diego Comic-Con, I don't get to do everything I want. I don't get to sit around and play all the games or visit all the booths. I have lots of stuff to do. But even that, it seems like less hassle for that, and I hate that. I hate that at San Diego sometimes, is that you spend your whole time doing everything else, and you can't go out and party because you have to go back and you have to go to your room and write stuff up. And I've discussed all this in past videos, but to me, almost being a YouTube personality, it feels like it's even more work than that. And like, I know I can handle it from an emotional perspective. I know it's something where, if I had a lot of fans, I would be willing to sit down and spend the time and put forth the effort to, do streaming like more often, in hopes that I would actually be able to, if I could speak right. That's the first thing I want to be able to do, is to speak right, Nihon. But no, most importantly, the thing I would want to do is be able to make this a full-time job one day. And it's something I also have had thoughts about, actually, believe it or not, is that would actually be pretty nice. And it's a bit of a change from what I've thought in the past, where I've always thought, okay, this is just a hobby. It'll never go anywhere. I'm just going to enjoy what I can get out of it. I kind of had thoughts, it would be nice to do this as a full-time thing, because I have so many games I want to play and so much stuff I want to do and take part in, and just working a full-time job, you really can't do that. But at the same time, I realize from a perspective of responsibility and just having to spend 8 hours a day recording, and I see people who don't have that kind of that growth, that big growth where they're like, oh, I have 1,000 subs now, so I can do not like 1,000 subs. I have like 100,000 subs. I'm making X amount of money a month, and I can actually quit my job and go full time. There's people out there who've been doing this for 2, 3, 4 years, and they have a lot of subs, and they have responsibilities of attending to, you know, do streams and stuff like that, but they don't have the, you know, they don't have the income level yet to be able to really commit to full-time streaming. And that's, I think, what I worry most about is, am I ever going to get to that point where I'm on the cusp of being able to do this full-time, but I can't do it full-time because I have to have an 8-hour-a-day job that I have to go to so I can afford healthcare, insurance, and I can afford having a roof over my head, I can afford gas and food and everything. I feel like that's the actual reality for me, is that even if I woke up tomorrow and had 100,000 subs, that I just, you know, the income isn't there. And I've mentioned before how finicky YouTube can be as a full-time job, and it's scary. It's really scary, especially since there's so many different ways that people are out there making money now, and it's great. It's great that there's, you know, Patreon. It's great that there's streaming subscriptions. It's great that YouTube is throwing the option to have subscriptions and payments on YouTube and whatnot. But it's scary too, because there's people out there who are going to do stupid things, who are going to, you know, if you live off stream donations or tips or whatever you want to call them, there's a very real danger that you could get someone who gives you a whole bunch of money and then charges it all back, and then you're responsible for the fees on that, plus you don't have any money. So it's actually a net loss for you. And there's people out there who are rude enough to do that. And that's perhaps one of the reasons why I know people have asked me about being able to donate to me through PayPal and whatnot. And that's one of the reasons I've been really lukewarm about that, is because I want to make sure there's a way that I can take that, you know, I'd be able to take stuff like that. That's also why I've thought about Patreon instead of going through PayPal. It's because I just want to be able to be financially secure myself. And I just, you know, it's just a thing where you worry about these things, and you don't want to worry about money when you're doing all this stuff, even as a hobby or, you know, as a full-time job. You don't want to have to worry that YouTube's going to change its algorithms for how it places ads and your money is going to dry up, or that Patreon, you know, is going to decide that it wants to take a bigger cut of your patronage, or Twitch is going to start taking 75% of your sub money instead of 50%. You know, these are all things that could theoretically happen. I don't think they will happen. I don't think Twitch is going to do something that's stupid. But, you know, these are things that can always change, and there's nothing that's for certain out there. There's no magical thing that says Mojang will, however you want to pronounce it, you know what I'm talking about, that they'll always be okay with YouTube videos. Maybe one day someone at Microsoft will be like, I want to pull the switch. We're going to pull the switch. We're going to come for our cut. And we're going to put our ads on every single YouTube video out there. And we're going to take, you know, 5% of the ads profit, or we're going to take, you know, X amount of money from them. You know, there's nothing is certain. And I think that's the one thing that really gives me pause about being big too, is because of all the responsibilities that come with being a big time YouTuber. And maybe one thing I've thought after PAX East is I'm kind of getting there, where I'm starting to get more comfortable with, you know, the thought of it, with the idea of being a big shot YouTuber one day. But I'm not quite there yet. My head's kind of not there. I would say like I have some kind of issue, you know, or I'm panicking or something. Oh, I just dropped a bunch of dirt. Yep. But it's kind of the thought. Okay, I want to make sure I don't build anything there, because the cathedral will be there. But I'm kind of sitting around thinking, okay, maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be right now. Maybe there's just a lot of things that have to go into the YouTube process that you're not ready to sit there and have to set up, you know, an LLC or a company, you actually have to go through some people actually go through the paperwork of setting up a whole company for their YouTube business, their streaming business or whatever. And I'm not talking about, setting up a company that does streaming. I'm talking about a company. I'm talking about setting up an actual company like like the Minecraft guys do. Like, they are an actual LLC. They're an actual organized business. They have, in theory, you would think they'd have some kind, they have some kind of license that allows them to be a business, or to be, if not a business, you could also set up a non-profit group. That would be kind of sad, though. Streaming. I'm a streamer and I'm setting up a non-profit group. That would be kind of sad, and probably illegal too. I can't use that. That's the same color. I use a spruce wood. But there's a lot that goes into, I think that's maybe the thing that I took away most from my PAX East experience and reconnecting with a lot of my friends who've perhaps even grown bigger, and things have changed since Minecon, and some new people that I haven't met before. As much fun as it can be, it is very much a job, and it's very much a thing that you have to take seriously. And if you don't take it seriously, then you're going to run into a lot of problems. And I think for me, the thing I think about the most is if tomorrow morning I had the opportunity to go full-time on YouTube, if I had the opportunity just to, to drop everything from my job, it would be, like, from a pure business perspective, if I could just quit it and I wouldn't have to worry about health insurance stuff, if I wouldn't have to worry about anything else, if I wouldn't have to worry about car payments and whatnot, if I could do that tomorrow morning, if I could wake up and just be NihonTiger YouTuber for life, would I do it? And I think the answer, still in the back of my head, even with that, is no, because I kind of worry sometimes about the idea that when your hobby becomes your business, it starts to become less fun. And I've had that happen, actually. That's something that I have experience with. For those of you that don't know, I've mentioned it before, but I blog sometimes. I work on a website. I do some blogging stuff as a freelancer, and I've been doing it for about 7 years now. But the thing is, over the past few years, it's kind of changed from being just a thing I do, on the side, to actually being almost like real life work, like a real life job, except it doesn't really pay. It still pays more like a hobby would pay. And it's become a lot less fun. I'll be totally honest with you. It's become a lot less fun for me sometimes to have to do all that stuff and have to waste, 3 or 4 hours a day, or it did. I don't waste that much time on it anymore. I spend more time doing this stuff. But it kind of became, I guess, a real drag on me to have to sit around and do all that stuff for, 3 or 4 hours a day, just writing and writing and writing. And when I started doing my current job at my current workplace, it was a lot of the same kind of repetition that I was already doing with my blogging, and it kind of turned the whole blogging thing from being a fun hobby into business, especially since I had to pick up a lot of the slack sometimes, and it made it a lot less fun. Like, I stopped really enjoying what I was doing. That's going to be, we're going to be similar shaped. I don't know if I like that. I might want to change the shape on this, but that's one of the things I worry about, because when your hobby becomes your job, it can be fun. It can be as fun as you want to make it, but it can also be incredibly like life-changing in the absolute worst way. Because it could stop making whatever was fun, and then you're stuck there with something that you now have to do because let's face it, your hobby became your job. And so now you're stuck doing whatever you were doing, except now it's dull and boring work, and you just want to get out of it. And to me, I feel like that's the one thing I wanted to try and avoid doing, is having it become, the most boring thing in the world, and waking up every day and dreading having to go record stuff, because I don't want that to be my reality. I want that to be something that, is a good break from work. It's something I enjoy doing, and it's something that I can come home to and be happy about. And to that end, I kind of feel happy that, maybe I kind of fly under the radar sometimes more than I probably should, or I feel like I should. That's also a thing that I have to eventually figure out how to address from a thinking perspective. How do I address the fact that, sometimes I feel snubbed about things, but I can't really feel snubbed about, not getting every advantage. You can't win everything, right? So yeah, it's just a lot to think about and a lot to sit around and consider. Yeah, I like that. That looks nice. I'll maybe make this like a 2 wide here. Something like 1, 2. You can maybe make it so this is like an odd shaped one. Actually, no, it's going to be so something like right here. Yeah, this will be better. But it's these are things I think about, actually. These are actual legitimate thoughts that I've had before about my YouTube life, about the way that everything works with the internet. And it is frankly a lot to think about, and it is kind of scary sometimes too, just to think about the prospects of what this might eventually mean one day for you if you keep doing it. And it's not something where it's like, oh, well, I want to give up now because I don't ever want to be big. I don't ever want to make it. I don't ever want to have 10,000 fans who know me. But at the same time, I really enjoyed the fact that I could walk around PAX East and not get mobbed everywhere I went. And I was wearing my hoodie most of the time, so I'm in that bright orange hoodie with the stripes. And outside of the people who actually know me, who know my Minecraft skin, who know what that looks like, who know me from that, I wasn't getting stopped by random people on the the convention floor and just being like, oh, can you take photos? I'm like, yeah, I gotta go to this thing over here and I don't want to get in line for it, but sure, I'll stop and take half a dozen photos with you. Sure, no problem. You're not. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're bugging me, and of course I would, but it's a thing I think about, and I'm kind of happy that I'm able to kind of fly under the radar sometimes, and that's something I know some bigger people probably kind of wish for everything that they have, for all the awesome benefits they get for doing stuff. I feel like sometimes just from talking with my friends who are big people like that, who are big into the YouTube life and whatnot. It's kind of a weird way to put it, but you know what I'm talking about. They're big into doing stuff on YouTube, and it's such, I kind of get the feeling that some of them miss maybe not having to worry about that so much. And I don't know. Maybe I'm completely and totally misreading things, and maybe they are really, really happy with that. I'm sure they're really happy with everything, but maybe they're much happier than I think they are, because I totally could be misreading this. I totally could be stupid thing. I totally could be misreading my conversations with my friends. Hey, Fuchs is on. I'll have to say hi to him. Hey, there we go. But I feel like there are definitely some people who are kind of, hey there, how goes it? I'll have to let them know. It goes well. But I feel like there are some people who definitely, I wouldn't necessarily say are unhappy with being popular, but they kind of maybe wish they could get a break every once in a while and actually be able to enjoy a convention and not just have to spend all their time bouncing from booth to booth to booth to booth to booth to do all of their obligations and whatnot. Oh, this is actually going to look really nice. It's going to be a little weird shaped, but I wonder if I could get this to be. Oh, maybe I know. I'll just flip these around. That'll work. Oh, look, that'll actually look really nice too. So if I flip these around, make these the pink ones, the pink. And I'm gonna be. Oh no. Okay, that works. I think that works. And if I could only have like one back here, maybe I could do just like a short stack somehow. Yeah, I think that might work. That's pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, you kind of get a feeling that perhaps there is I wouldn't say resentment. I think that's a wrong way to put it. But there's just kind of a yearning for being able to go back to the way that it used to be sometimes. I guess that'd be a way to put it. Not necessarily like, oh, I want to go back to being a nobody, but I kind of wish that I could have a little bit of breathing room. I get that feeling from people. And that's completely understandable. You don't want to have your entire life kind of put out there 24/7 for everybody to follow. As much as they might like it, you know, everybody appreciates a little bit of personal space here and there. And I know I certainly do. There's nights where there's like days where I'm just like, I don't feel like playing Minecraft. I'm just gonna go do something else. And sometimes I feel like, you know, other people want to do that too, and they just feel like they can't. And to me, that's the one thing I want to avoid, is really ever feeling like I'm trapped or completely obligated to do one thing over everything else, and I'm never getting, you know, the opportunity to do new and exciting things, and just being able to enjoy everything. So I think that's probably all I wanted to discuss. I'm at 30 minutes, probably a longer episode than I wanted in the first place. I wanted to try and keep it under 20, but you know me, I ramble. Oh, do I ramble. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish this up. We got a good start. I'm going to at least try and get some more of these stalls done, obviously. And we're making some progress. We only have, this is 140, so we only have another 10 episodes to go. And one of these episodes is going to be the 1000 video special. So there's going to be a lot of talking in that about various things relating to, you know, having 1,000 videos. So that's almost, you know, it's almost an entire episode that's just going to be not even talk about the build. Probably I'm going to be spending so much time talking about hard work with, you know, getting to 1,000 videos and whatnot. Do I have a purple one already? Yes. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Those are different. But yeah, I think really this is a good place to kind of end the conversation right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to fix this one up a little bit, trying a different color combination or different stripe pattern. But thank you for watching. As I always say, good luck, good mining, have fun, and I will see you guys next time here on the good old NeoCraft server.